The Melbourne Cup Carnival, proudly brought to you by the new Nissan, Optus Communications, Radiant, Foster's, TAB, and AAMI Car Insurance.
Leading trainer Dave Nicholson at Cheltenham for 3 months, and he's leaving on Friday, so we wish him the very best. He's a great jockey, and he rides Night Escapades here. Lights on, and they're racing in the Cup Day Hurdle. One of the first horses to jump away was Outshone from the inside from News and Views and Siriculus. Salary Sun was up there early, followed by Crescent Ray as they draw to the first of 13. Newsbeat was out very wide. They were followed by Plume d'Or, VA and Gold Knot. Getting back in the field was Mountain Oak and then Tournament Prince. Siriculus is back on the inside of Mr. Zulu, and they bring up the field as they run down the straight the first time. About 2,800 metres to travel. And Outshone in front with a baldy face by a length to Newsbeat. Plume d'Or, VA wide. Salary Sun goes up fourth, and Night Escapade saving ground 50 inside. They were followed by Gold Knot out wider. Getting through in the centre was Crescent Ray and News and Views down on the inside. Followed by Tournament Prince, Mountain Oak. Second last, Mr. Zulu, and Siriculus last of all. They come down to jump the fourth obstacle with 2,600 metres to travel, and Outshone in front. Jumped over at 2 lengths clear. In second placing, Plume d'Or, VA. Night Escapades gets the run of the race third. Newsbeat was fourth and travelling well. A length and a half to News and Views as they jump the next one. Followed by Salieri Sun, Tournament Prince and Crescent Ray. Mountain Oak. Gold Knot third last, and then Mr. Zulu, and 2 lengths away Siriculus. Out of the straight, Outshone the pilot, 2,200 metres to run in the Cup Day Hurdle. Outshone by 2 lengths to Plume d'Or, VA. Night Escapades was third, 2 lengths away. Fourth was Newsbeat, then Salieri Sun. The two greys racing together, Mountain Oak going forward on the outside of News and Views. Then Crescent Ray, Tournament Prince, 5 lengths to Gold Knot, Mr. Zulu, and 3 lengths away Siriculus. At the next hurdle along the Maribyrnong side of the track, and the leader is jumping well. It's Outshone by a length and a quarter. Plume d'Or, VA was second, 2 lengths away. Night Escapades third, then Salieri Sun, followed by Newsbeat. News and Views on the inside, Mountain Oaks out 3 deep, and then Tournament Prince, followed by Crescent Ray. A break in the field of 3 lengths to Gold Knot, and then Mr. Zulu, and 5 lengths away Siriculus. 15 lengths would cover up the field as they go to the back corner of the Flemington Racecourse. 1,400 metres to go. Outshone gets away from the rail, and Plume d'Or, VA gets up on its inside. They're joint leaders by 3 lengths now. 2 in third placing, Night Escapades. Fourth, the inside Newsbeat, followed by Salieri Sun. Then Mountain Oak, and they were followed by News and Views. On its outside was Crescent Ray. A couple of lengths to Tournament Prince and Mr. Zulu running on, and 5 lengths further back in the field to Gold Knot and Siriculus. 1,200 metres to go. Outshone got away again, led 2.5 lengths to Plume d'Or, VA. Newsbeat starting to make a run, followed by Night Escapades. A length back to Salieri Sun under pressure. Mountain Oak was next. A length to Mr. Zulu running on. Then News and Views, Tournament Prince taken to the outside. Crescent Ray well back, and 10 lengths away Gold Knot and Siriculus. 700 metres left to go, and the one to run down is Outshone, leads by 2 lengths. Plume d'Or, VA was second, 2 lengths to Salieri Sun, followed by Newsbeat fourth. Night Escapades. Tournament Prince makes up ground. Then Mountain Oak under the whip as they run around the home turn. Mr. Zulu's back about fourth last, and then Crescent Ray. 500 metres left to go on the Cup Day Hurdle, and Outshone in front. 3/4 of a length to Plume d'Or, VA challenging. 2 lengths away Newsbeat, running on Tournament Prince. Then Salieri Sun. Mountain Oak needs a run and starting to get it now. 300 metres to go at the second last one. Plume d'Or, VA hit the front, got over it in front of Outshone. Coming home hard was Mountain Oak the inside, then Newsbeat getting right up on the rail. Salieri Sun, Tournament Prince. Mountain Oak goes to the front, coming down to the last one. Mountain Oak in front, got over the length clear. Plume d'Or, VA second, then Newsbeat for the grey, broke away. 100 to go. Mountain Oak's a length and a half, 2 lengths in front of the greys, home in the Cup Day Hurdle. Mountain Oak draws away to win by 2.5 lengths. Plume d'Or, VA second, third's a Bob, maybe Salieri Sun in front of Newsbeat. Then Tournament Prince, a break to Mr. Zulu, Crescent Ray. Then Outshone, followed by Night Escapades. Well back News and Views, Siriculus, and Gold Knot was back at the tail of the field. Race 1, the Email Cup Hurdle. Number 2, Mountain Oak, ridden by Simon Mills. Number 2, the winner, showing about $9.80 and $3.10. Number 11, Plume d'Or, VA, gave a cheeky sight, $3.20. Plume d'Or, VA actually ran in the Melbourne Cup 3 years ago, in the flat Melbourne Cup, and he's finished runner-up in the Email Cup Hurdle. And there's a photo finish for third to separate Salieri Sun number 4 and Newsbeat number 1, and there's not a lot in that photo finish for third placing, with the number 1 horse showing $2.10 and the number 4 horse showing $2.40. Have a look at this point, Gary. Well, it's Mountain Oak, was ridden very cleverly. Salieri's Son has got third, number 4, fourth in number 1. Ridden cleverly. He takes a bit of riding, Gary, but at this point he was finishing very strongly.
It was a very good ride, and like if we can go back even further to the 600-metre mark, you'll see Simon Mills, he's trying to get a run up inside News Beat. And when the run actually came in a straight, when they got to that second last fence, the 2 horses that were leading rolled out, and both Mountain Oak and News Beat got through, and Mountain Oak just went on. Then we can just see, and you'll see the horse in the orange colours, the one outside, and they'll both shift and leave room for these 2 horses on the inside. And you'll see Mountain Oak get this beautiful run through. They just ran that fence down a little bit, the 2 leaders, and that's, you know, a great benefit to a jockey and a horse if you can get a run through like that, because he didn't have to spend a penny. He's got straight through. Here's the last fence coming up. Mountain Oak flies it. Straight over, away. Newsbeat following on the fence.
Great success too, Gary, for trainer John Sadler, who's had a lean trot, and certainly for the owner of Mountain Oak, Alan Hunter, who's had a lot of thoroughbreds and harness horses, very successful ones over the year, and it's great to see him get a winner, particularly on Cup Day.
Yes, and Alan always enjoys being in the winner's circle. Congratulations. Great thrill to win on Cup Day.
Tremendous thrill. Tremendous thrill.
You've had some very good horses over the years. Pressman's Choice. This fellow is really honest, isn't he?
Yeah, he keeps going around. He just keeps running on and keeps running on, and he can stay all day, really. He's a great jumper, and he'll go well.
Well, were you worried during the run, Alan, when the leader's got a fairly big break on him?
Yeah, I got him halfway up the back straight. I thought he was gone. Really. I thought he was dropping out a bit, and I got away from him. But when he got the run up the fence, I could see him coming, and I thought we've got a good chance there.
Well, you know what it's like to win big races, especially in harness racing, but what sort of a thrill is it to win on Melbourne Cup Day?
Oh, this is a tremendous thrill, really. It equals a lot of the other races I've won in the past, and it's a great thrill to win on Melbourne Cup Day. Just to have a runner on Melbourne Cup Day is sensational, so to win is tremendous.
Is the luck going to hold out? What's your tip for the Cup, Alan?
Oh, I think the Andrew Cross is certainly.
All right, mate, well done, and we'll let you lead him in.
Thank you.
Alan Hunter, the winning owner in the first event, with Mountain Oak, number 2, taking out the money. Second placing going to number 11, Plume d'Orvier. And third home was number 4, Salieri's Son. The all-important time, 3:32.4. And that is 3.1 seconds outside the record. So there you have the first event. A few spots of light rain falling as candidates come back after the first race on Cup Day. We'll be back with all the information on the opening race after this break.
$9.80 and $3.10. Plume d'Orvier, $3.20. Salieri's Son, $2.40. Quinella paid $58.40. And the trifecta on 2, 11 and 4, $893.80. Impressive winner at Echuca, missed the kick 4 lengths and won by 5. Sabar Lima, $4.70. Tolo Harbour, $9.40. Tomorrow, $5.70. Ken Fly, $14.40. Cormich, $57. Fighter Bay, $23. Down to Pax Matt Will, $106. Take Issue, $10. Sphera, $27. Nordic Express, $68. The Wickhamist, $13. And Newton at $46. Win pool of $213,000 for race 2, which is due at $12.40.
Thanks, Dan.
If ever a man is named Mr. Melbourne Cup, surely it will be this man, James Bartholomew Cummings. Already he is known as that Cup's king. His friends call him Bart. Cummings has played an awesome role in the modern history of the Cup. On a record 9 occasions since 1965, the master trainer has made the Cup his own race. Count 1 to 9 slowly, then pause for a moment to reflect. Incredible, isn't it? This little beauty kicked it all off in 65. Her name, Light Fingers. And even then, young Bart was not content just winning the race. See that horse on the fence? That's Zaima. And he was from the Cummings stable too. It was the same story the following year with Galilee, rated one of the finest, strongest stayers of all times, beating that slip of courage, Light Fingers. Cummings 1-2 again. All up, he has Quinella the Cup a record 5 times, as recently as last year, when Let's Elope and Shiver's Revenge carried the famous Cummings polish to glory.
But Let's Elope has burst away in the Foster's Melbourne Cup, belongs to the mare. Let's Elope bolts the Cup in, wins by 3 lengths, and it's a Cummings Quinella.
Remarkable is a word that comes to mind when describing this character. Truly remarkable. He has this gift, Bart Cummings, especially with stayers. A gift to make them want to run all day. run true and run fast. He begins planning next year's Melbourne Cup Challenge the moment this year's great races run. Some will tell you he begins even earlier than that. 1, Light Fingers. 2, Galilee. 3, Red-Handed. 4, Think Big. It's also true that Bart Cummings doesn't have to count sheep to go to sleep at night, having found a more noble substitute much closer to the heart.
Yes, and there's some that will tell you that Let's Elope this year hasn't been prepared along the Cummings formula. But even he himself, I think I read this morning, said if he's the one that set the rules, then he should be the one to either break them or amend them. So you never know. I think if she wins, I'll be just as happy with Let's Elope as I would be with Superimposed. 2 sensational champions. And Peter Donegan has... Well, now, the Melbourne Cup stops for absolutely no one, not even a world war. In 1942, the Cup was run, but there were a few problems.
The 1942 Melbourne Cup was held on a Saturday instead of the traditional first Tuesday of November because of the war. Appalling weather influenced the betting greatly. Dark Felt started the race as the 9-2 favourite. Colonus, known to perform better on heavy tracks, had come in from a 200-1 rank outsider overnight to start the race at 33-1. In keeping with the war effort, the VRC had kept the prize money down to £5,200, and instead of awarding a gold cup, they were to give the winner a £200 austerity bond. On board Colonus, 17-year-old Harry McLeod went to the lead almost from the start. As the 24 starters headed down the back straight, Colonus maintained the lead with Posium second and Heart's Desire third. The heavy track had taken its toll by the finish, and the lead carved out by McLeod proved too much for the rest of the field. Colonus strode away to win by 7 lengths, the biggest winning margin since 1862. It was a rags to riches story for Colonus, purchased after a case of mistaken identity. Colonus had won the 1942 Cup for his owner, Mr. L. Mink, who a few months earlier paid a mere £150 for it.
And as they say, the tradition continues yet again in 1992, where you'll see the Cup run in all about 2.5 hours from now.
Again, they're all set to go. Keltree's the favourite from Sabah Lima and tomorrow. And there's one that's got through the gates, and that's Sphera from barrier number 10, reared and jumped through the front of the stalls. Appears to be no damage done, so the clerk of the course, a busy man around this event. Race number 2, Sphera will go around behind the gates and again be brought up to the starting stalls. Keltree's $2.70 on the tote, $4.80 about number 3, which is Sabah Lima. You can see watch barrier number 10. The horse just gets a little bit restless and up it goes. Hit its head on the front of the stalls, which can be a bit of a worry. Wearing saddlecloth 14 with Philip Alderman aboard. It goes up again. So take 3 of the MYER Fashion Stakes. The lights on this time and they're away and racing. A bit of trouble at the start there. Keltree's missed the kick, 2 lengths the favourite. And one of the first out and going very quickly was the Wickamist. Showing also speed was Sabah Lima. It crosses over to the paint and leads. Can fly indeed. He's up running second in the early part of the race. Take Issues moved up to be in 3rd position, followed by Tolo Harbour on the fence 4th, followed by Tomorrow. Now Keltree's is working into it, gets to about midfield. The Wickamist wider out on the track. They were followed by Fighter Bay, Chamage behind them from Newton, and then Sphera, Paxmat Will, and Nordic Express. About 400 metres left to go, and it's Sabah Lima under a bit of pressure. A half length to Take Issue. Can Fly going up. Keltree's needs a run. Wider out, Fighter Bay's running on strongly, and they were followed by Tolo Harbour getting the run up along the inside. Fighter Bay in front. Tolo Harbour gets up on the rails, running on Keltree's, and then Can Fly, but Tolo Harbour right up against the fence, got a length in front. In second placing, Fighter Bay. Keltree's runs on. Tolo Harbour's in front though, and Tolo Harbour wins a length. Second, Fighter Bay. Third, Keltree's, a nice run. Then Can Fly, the Wickamist, and Chamage ran on pretty well for 6th. Then came Tomorrow, followed by Take Issue, Sabah Lima. Well back, Paxmat Will, and then Sphera. Second last, Newton and Nordic Express back at the tail. Well, $9.30 and $2.70 for Tolo Harbour, $5.40 about Fighter Bay, and Keltree's $1.60. Gary Willits, that was the horse you picked for us just before the race, a very aristocratic-looking horse. Nicely bred. You mentioned a half-brother to a Grey Man, and he's got a lot of ability. Oh, a ton of ability, and gee, I like the way he raced, and Stephen King did a very good job on him. At the start, there was a bit of trouble. A couple of horses came together, and, you know, a bit of a schmozzle. You can see those horses there. Keltree's has got checked there. It's probably missed it anyway, but it's missed the start a couple of lengths, and that doesn't help in 1,000-metre races. Can Fly was also involved in that. and tomorrow.
Now you watch this horse, Solo Harbour. He gets there, he trails the leader.
Here's the head on again. Watch for BRAE's 5, 6, 7. Look at Caltrice. Gets badly squeezed up and checked. Can Fly got checked. Tomorrow probably caused it. The horse which was drawn barrier number 5.
What a great eye Harry Lawton must have for horses, the way he selects them. But you watch this horse. He's on the fence now, right behind the leader, Sabalina. He travels very well. He actually gets up on the horse's heels a couple of times. This mark here on the track, to the people at home, that's the half-mile crossing that they talk about. Now you're coming on, we're just about nearly linking up with the course proper. You can see this horse, Solo Harbour, he's going very easily for Stephen King. And Stephen will take a real narrow run shortly. He hasn't got a lot of room, and he's a very good jockey. You can just see that bit of a gap, and bang, he's in through. And this horse accelerated right away. I think we're going to hear a lot more about this horse.
That's 2 starts for 2 wins now, Gary. He's by Success Express, and Success Express is the stallion standing at Trelawney Stud. The stud in New Zealand, which just recently changed hands, which has produced 7 Melbourne Cup winners.
Sorry, Dan, he's just coming back now, and I couldn't get over watching him going out. He just kept pricking his ears, and real alert horse, and he really took my eye.
We've got the details on the MYER Fashion Stakes after this.
Solo Harbour, $9.30 and $2.70. Finder Bay, $5.40. Number 2, Caltrice, $1.60. Quinella paid $98.40. And the trifecta paid $607.20 on race number 2. Tim? Spondula, $7. Loving Cup, 8. Arkraj, 9. Solution, $4. Koshaf, Azouk, they're all at good odds. Snippety, number 8's got a chance. Over the page to number 10, which is Bronze Legend, 14. Centre Flight, 13 from the Mars Stable. Rochetta, 16. Spiritual Self at the same price, $16. Tontoretto down the bottom is the rank outsider at $164. Peter, that's race number 3.
Righto, Daniel, and...
The Cup's king, Bart Cummings, will try to win his 10th Melbourne Cup with London Bridge. The 5-year-old won the 2 miles Duke of Norfolk Stakes in the autumn, so he can stay the trip. New Zealand stayers Sky Flyer will be at big odds in the Cup, and while he won the Werribee Cup on a rock-hard track, he can also handle the wet. Sydney's Dr. Grace has won over $2.7 million in prize money, and although he has failed twice at the distance, he is full of class. New Zealander Valdiano is coming to form at the right time. The American-bred stallion handles... His second at Big Baron in the Dalgety was full of merit. Donegal Mist is a proven stayer and last start winner of the Moonee Valley Cup, the same race Kingston Rule won before taking the Melbourne Cup 2 years ago. Donegal Mist is hard and fit and a good outsider. My Eagle Eye cannot handle wet tracks but is a proven 2-miler. The New Zealander could be an improver. Bottom weight Sir Winston will be ridden by outstanding apprentice Paddy Payne. With placings in the Metropolitan and Dalgety, Sir Winston has a rough hope, as does another Kiwi, Cavalieri, but he definitely needs the dry track.
Well, you never know, I guess. There's quite a few outsiders in it. Maybe something like Maharaja. Wouldn't that be a turn-up for the books? It's an extraordinary race, this Cup. New Zealand jockey Noel Harris has been trying for 20 years to win the Melbourne Cup. He came pretty close back in 1973 when Glenn Gowan ran second to Gala Supreme. But in recent times, Harris has been associated with that great, and he is great, Kiwi stayer, Castletown.
New Zealand's Noel Harris has tried for 20 years to win the Melbourne Cup. His first ride in the race was in 1973, and also the closest he's got to winning the Cup.
Oh, I think any jockey thinks, well, Melbourne Cup, you know, that's the ultimate race, and the first ride I run second on Glen Gowan, and ever since I thought, well, maybe this year.
Harris, a 17-year-old apprentice, rode Glen Gowan into second place behind Gala Supreme.
It's Dame's son, tackled by Gala Supreme and Glen Gowan. Glen Gowan, Gala Supreme, they get the line photo. Gala Supreme by a nose.
Harris's biggest Australian successes have been aboard Our Poetic Prince, whom he combined with to win the 1988 Cox Plate and the 1989 Tancred Stakes.
Our Poetic Prince a length and a half in front. Bone Crusher and Horlicks are not going to get to him. And it's a favourites Cox Plate. Our Poetic Prince beats Horlicks. And Bone Crusher third, New Zealand 1, 2, 3.
Harris is a very good rider of stayers, so watch for him in any race with a distance of 2,000 metres or over.
This is it, Tuesday, the first Tuesday of November, when Australian sport is showcased by our great race, the Foster's Melbourne Cup. There is no race like the Cup. Never has been, never will be. For every Australian will tell you that the Cup is not simply a horse race. It is about people, princes and paupers. It is about culture, carnival and character, about grit and grace, the bludgeon and the ballet of the race itself, and the almost religious following by the nation. It's been said many times before, but it's true. Australia stops for the running of the Cup. It lasts for a tick over 3 minutes, yet its heroes run forever. This great race, this event, it's nothing new. Archer kicked off the honour roll way back in 1861, and each year its charm seems to grow. The Cup is not just for slab-sided old stayers. The immortal Farlap won the Cup in 1930, and Peter Pan escaped a near wipeout to score in 34. Through Light Fingers and Galilee, Think Big and Rain Lover, to the giant mare Empire Rose, and Let's Elope of modern times. The honour has not only remained, but multiplied. Today, Tuesday, will be no different. A rainbow of emotions, more highs than lows, more cheers than tears. Sure, it's called the Melbourne Cup, but it's more than that. This horse race belongs to Australia. In a vast land so short on history, it has become our very own institution.
Yes, indeed, and an institution that we just love. And as I throw down to Peter Donegan, Pete, you know, this race is many things. It's carnival, it's the race itself, but sometimes we tend to forget, you know, the horses. And I really do think, it's just a niggling feeling I have, that the great ones know it's a sense of occasion too.
I think they do, Tim, and when you go back over the years, a horse like Gunsynd, he used to know when there was a sense of occasion. I remember once before he came out for the Cox Plate, and I think he did the same thing in the Melbourne Cup. He used to stop in the race here at Flemington, and he'd wait for the crowd to applaud him before he actually went anywhere. And Roy Higgins would be digging him in the ribs and he just wouldn't move. So I'm sure the great horses do know, and they tune up for the day. They see the people around them, and they're just aware of the fact that this is something special, as are the 90 to 100,000 people who are getting a little bit wet here before the start of race 3, the Vic Hell Stakes, and it's down the straight again, 1,000 metres.
On Vet's advice, number 5, Koshafa, late scratching, withdrawn at 125. Stewards acting on Vet's advice. Bookmakers ruled a line, a betting announcement to follow.
So Koshaf is a scratching, and the rest of the runners are all set for a start here, so we'll soon get a jump in the Vic Hell Stakes. And they're racing now. Spondula's jumped away well towards the outside. Getting into bother after the start was He Flies. Lavender-Bird, Watchetta going quickly. So too was Quincy Market, Draft Choice, and Princess RAIDAA is scooting up along the inside with a Zook. A lot of these horses are coming down the middle of the track as they go over the crossing, 700 metres to go. Right up against the inside rail, Princess RAIDAA in front. From a Zook, and then LOUDOUN, BRAE, followed by Draft Choice just behind them. Quincy Market wide out, Lavender-Bird's under the whip, Watchetta coming down the middle of the track. Then Snippety, followed by Loving Cup, and then Spondula, Bronze Legend, He Flies. Well back in the field, Centre Flight, Spiritual Self, and Tontoretto. 350 metres to go, a Zook went to the front. Watchetta coming down the middle of the track, followed by Snippety, Loving Cup, Ark Raj running on hard now with Solutions coming into the race. 200 metres to go, and Watchetta's just in front of a Zook and Solution. Then Ark Raj, 150 to go, Watchetta's a length and a half clear. Ark Raj running on Solution, can't go on, but Watchetta in front. One of the outsiders, Watchetta draws away to win by 2.5 lengths. Ark Raj second, Solution third. Tontoretto, what a run it's run fourth. It was last of the 400. Then Snippety, Bronze Legend. Close up was a Zook, Centre Flight, Princess RAIDAA, Draft Choice, and then came LOUDOUN, BRAE, Loving Cup. Well out of it was Spondula, Spiritual Self. Well back in the field would have been Lavender-Bird, and it's pulled up near the tail end with He Flies and Quincy Market.
That was a strange race, that, Dan.
It was a strange race,
None of them seemed to be keen to go over to the fence. They all stayed off except the 2 leaders. And most of them wanted to come down the middle of the track, which, you know, I find quite strange as a former jockey, because I always felt that was the worst place to be on the course.
Well, they all sort of grouped up down the centre of the track. It was very unusual here. Either they split up, but obviously the inside rail and the outside was not the place to be. Rachetta 18.20 and 5.10. Good result for bookies. 3.10 Ark Raj and $1.40 for number 4, which was Solution. So it's 14, 3 and 4 in the frame for race number 3. Well, quite a surprise win there, Ricetta, because she was at fairly lucrative odds. She was well beaten on a slow track at Caulfield last start, but maybe the middle of the track helped. She was always looking a chance.
Well, that's right. Very nice striding filly. Got the line well.
Well, great to see David Hayes get a winner on Melbourne Cup. It might be an omen for things to come later on the day. $10.20 and $5.10. Ark Raj $3.10, Solution $1.60, Quinella $103.20. The trifecta $1,215.80 on race 3 at Flemington.
And isn't she a handsome filly too, Ricetta? A good win, and a good win for David Hayes. She's
have started in the straight, but this time it'll be right up the top of the straight at the 1,200 metre mark. This race used to be called the Railway Highway, and traditionally it was won by horses at big odds. So as we check out the take call with Dan Malicki, well, it might be an idea to keep an eye out for some of those long shots, Dan.
I think so, Peter. It's a very open race, a big field of 22 horses. Blue Boss at 8.40, Noble Answer 44. Prince Redeemer 76, Grey Man 11, Forgotten Ruler 79, Holiday Lover 16, Have Your Say 6.40, $10.20 for Laser Beam, 47 Local Knowledge, 10 out, 11 Hula Warrior 9.80, Durham Rivers 79, Impoteric 38, On the Wagon 38, Temperate King 28, Brosberg 14, Minyama 46, Our Joy's Boy at $26, Beppy's Boy 109, Glorious Day 20, Cheerful Play at 10, Celibacy 116, Rose of Maritza $10, $362,000 in the win pool for the Schweppes, 1,200.
And Graham Kelly is down with me as the track is looked after by the attendants, and I'd say there'd be
The gates, many chances here in this event. This is race 4, first look at the Quadrella in Victoria. Chris Muntz, the jockey of Celibacy in the screen there. Drawn barrier number 24, comes into 22 with the 2 scratchings. Very gloomy looking Flemington now, and they're all set to go for the Schweppes 1,200. Field of 22 to start. And there's still one out behind the line. Hula Warrior hasn't quite gone into its position.
It's very difficult on these days, Dan, with the boys with their goggles. They're inclined to fog up with them. You'll see a lot of them, they'll try and just, you know, keep their fingers under them.
The one down on the gates there in barrier number 3. A little bit of trouble towards the inside barriers.
Blue Boss.
And it was the horse we were talking about, Blue Boss. Obviously he doesn't like the rain, he just wants to get out of there.
Well, he's played up before in the barriers, and it's always a worry when they go down. You know, this horse will have to be inspected also.
Of course, we had a late scratching in the previous event. There'll be another late
gates,
scratching. Blue Boss, a late scratching, number 1. He will not start. May have been a blessing because he doesn't really handle these conditions. Now, the rest of the runners have been locked away. They're all set to go for this straight 1,200 metre event. Big field now, 21. And we wait for the starter, who is on his platform at the moment, getting set to release this field. Lights on. Gates fly back and they're racing in the Schweppes 1,200. And one of the first horses to appear would have been Have Your Say. Beppy's Boy going quickly was Minyama. And they were followed out wider by Grey Man, showing a good turn of speed was Brosberg as well. Followed by Impoteric and Durham Rivers. They're all coming down the middle towards the centre of the track. And as they run up towards the 750 metres point, Minyama's hugging the fence and just leads now from Temperate King, followed by Beppy's Boy. Up close to them was Hula Warrior, followed by Durham Rivers. Out a little bit further was Noble Lancer, and then Celibacy. On Your Wagon just behind those, and then Laser Beam starting to run into the race. Impoteric hard ridden behind them, followed by Rose of Maritza, and then Grey Man. Cheerful Players under the whip next. Brosberg needs a run, and they were followed by Have Your Say, a couple of lengths off the lead as they go towards the 450. Forgotten Ruler well back with Glorious Day, Local Knowledge and Holiday Lovers well out of it. About 300 metres left to go. Minyama's drifting right to the centre of the track, but has a good break. It's 2.5 lengths in front of Hula Warrior. Celibacy, Laser Beam running on, then Forgotten Ruler. Minyama though, 150 to go in front. Local Knowledge is getting up along the inside and starting to run on well back from the field. Was Forgotten Ruler, but Minyama's well clear. Forgotten Ruler getting to second on the outside of Local Knowledge, but Minyama wins. Minyama by 2 lengths. Second Local Knowledge, third Forgotten Ruler, then Have Your Say close up fourth. Rose of Maritza next in, and then Beppy's Boy, Laser Beam. Well back in the field was Glorious Day, followed by Holiday Lover, Temperate King, and then Durham.